Welcome back to 1 Million Pumpkins for more public displays of homesteading. And even though the rain gauge doesn't measure much, we have been getting 1/100th of an inch here and there. All the sunflowers in the rabbit garden are opening up. There's nothing like seeing a plan come together. Some of these squash plants and sunflowers from the Mega Mix are successful. This one's starting to make quite the vine, loaded with male flowers. I just love a garden that's hard to walk through. And at last, this row of sorghum is getting legs. There's a few sunflowers here in the main garden. Everything out here is really enjoying the mild weather. I may be having kind of a crap time trying to grow okra this year. Some of its companions came up, like these beans. These weeds are doing great, and that turns out to be narrow leaf plantain. So that is edible and medicinal. Need to figure out what I'm going to be using that for. This bed, the okra failed as well. The peanuts are doing well. They don't like when it's super dry. Tiny pepper transplants. They're surviving. They are tiny though. Artichoke. Bell pepper. That has, it looks like, oh my goodness, like 5 bell peppers on it. On the other side of the aisle, oregano, tomatillo. Excited about the Thai basil, mint, tomatillo. This basil is very prolific. Been putting that in all of our meals. Just love these wildflowers. And yes, another tomatillo. Those I thought were goners after the late frost. And there's a little Thai basil tucked in there. The rosemary doesn't seem to wish to grow too well. Oh, this one finally got a pepper on it. And it turns out there's actually a number of them on there. Really looking forward to having fresh peppers again and then roasting them and putting them up. Thyme, scorpion pepper, lavender starting to bloom, and celery. Homegrown celery is not just crunchy water, it has such a strong flavor. And I just like this little floral arrangement that's assembled itself. I have harvested the entire bed of onions, as well as these 3 rows of onions. Oh, there's one still standing over there. I also harvested all of our garlic, and that was a great crop. So up next on my agenda is to harvest this row. It's like a triple row of onions. There's some big fat ones there. So as soon as I've finally gotten pretty much every existing furrow planted, now I have some vacant ones, but that's great. More food, and things lay low here, so they don't look like much, but harvesting every day radishes, greens, parsley, these beets, I cannot wait for those. Pretty Swiss chard, and tiny little chili pepper starts. These onions are still standing tall, so I'm not going to harvest them till they fall over. But in between them are some spinaches and some more radishes. The tomatoes are getting pretty large. Time to add more string. This Cherokee purple, that one's setting fruits. And I chopped and dropped on these rows recently. Yep, I chopped and dropped up to that next row of tomatoes over here. And already down the pepper row, plenty more grasses and weeds for me to chop and drop and add to the mulch. Garden zinnias are starting to get their buds setting, and this watermelon is sending out tentacles, and it has beautiful flowers. Here's the zucchini, and we've already taken one, and there's another one forming. This purple Savoy cabbage is taking a long time, and that's what I've experienced previously when I tried planting cabbage in the spring. I'm going to be planting some of that in the vacant rows, along with a lot of other brassicas. And there's a bee hovering over the cucumber plant. Still have not seen a female flower on the cucumbers. All of these chilies are starting to produce. That one's the fanciest. Loaded all down the line. It is rather an odd thing how these Gardener's Delight cherry tomatoes grow so gigantic on this little section, and then they just start dwindling down. I don't know why. This row of slicers is all pretty uniform in height. I seem to remember that that is a butternut pumpkin. We'll find out. More beets taking their time. Here's a yellow squash forming. Huzzah! I'm just really thrilling to intercropping. There's celeriac and mint. I think there's basil under there. Yep, there's a Thai basil under there. Well, I got cut off, but I'm back once again showing you the intercropping in between these tomatoes. And in the time that elapsed, I chopped and dropped all along here. And I pruned the tomatoes as I went, cutting off suckers and leaves that touch the ground. That way they won't get soil pathogens. And in the style of Centropic gardening, I organized the materials, laying the chop and drop along in the mulch furrow. Certainly makes a big difference, the before and after here. So there's plenty of free mulch growing on the sides here, and not only that, it gives a growth pulse through the roots and pushes everything to ramp up the vegetative growth. And everything is doing pretty well. Over here on this onion row, I've pulled out, it looks like maybe 1/4 of the length. And this is the tray that I've gotten from that so far. And there's a few that I can enter in the fair. That's a beauty. So for onions, they want you to submit 3, and they like for them to be uniform. Of course, Fleeter Mouse is here with me, looking cute amongst the globe mallow. The turkey family is enjoying the rabbit garden. I love how the turkeys unzip the grain heads off of the grasses. Ha! And coming over here, I noticed some insane fungal action. I have to show you guys. Hold on. Look at the size of this toadstool. Oh, sorry. Let me get a better shot. That thing is huge. That just popped up overnight. That toadstool is single-handedly exerting fungal dominance. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me for another garden tour here at 1 Million Pumpkins Ranch. Someday I'll be able to speak fluently. Cheers and blessings.